back to another video. Pretty short this time. I have two projects that are actually complete. Like, I think they're done. I don't think I need to do anything else. Number one is the King 608F. Talked a lot about this recently and not quite as recently. Slightly larger 3B in the slide, in the valve. That's it. That's all you need to know. And when I got the lead pipe replaced, it was too long. Even stock. And this is, of course, like thinking that the tuning slide was the original length. I was about here to be in tune. And when I added about an inch right here with the new lead pipe setup, it was too flat. Right here, I was flat at 440, even in like a kind of nice warm room. Useless instrument. You can't have a horn that's flat because you got nowhere to go. And so I had my tech saw off, literally with a hacksaw, 3/4 of an inch on both sides of the tuning slide. So now I can play it in tune. So just for reference, here is a King 3B. We'll put these both all the way in, and we'll put the bells the same place. There they go. And you can see how the 3B is way longer. Now, of course, this is what they're based on, and they're the same. I can switch these tuning slides out, actually. And the 3B is much, much longer. And when you make these slide a little bit larger, that actually introduces just a little bit of length because the air is traveling farther because there's more volume to fill. So that makes it a little bit long. And then if you add that lead pipe, it makes it a little bit too long. And of course, the 3B has a ton of room to pull the tuning slide out. I don't know, maybe I've seen someone do this somewhere, but you can pull the tuning slide out to like here. Why would you ever do that? You'd have to be playing at like 110 degrees with a 12C and trying to play at A438 or something. I don't know why you would ever need to pull it out that far. So chopping off some of the tuning slide, not a huge deal. And now I can use the instrument. Of course, I've done the same mod many times to Bach 50Bs. They're usually too long. The Bach slide is too long. The bell section's a little bit too long. And if you play with a slightly larger mouthpiece, the instrument's too long. So, pretty common mod. Chop the tuning slide. Now I can use it. It is a little tiny bit weird looking with just the slightly shorter tuning slide. I've seen these a lot, so to me it looks weird. I think to an average person, it's not going to look that weird. And it actually does balance just slightly differently without, 3 ounces of nickel in back. Oh, and I guess a little bit of brass from the tuning slides as well. So 6 ounces of stuff has been removed, and that makes the horn just a little bit more front heavy. Who cares? If I can play it now. Anyway, on to the next project. This is also complete. The Beater Besson, Besson Standard euphonium, I think. This is from the 80s. Late 70s maybe, early 80s. I have no idea, honestly. Very common instruments, just a Besson compensating euphonium, B flat. But they came with medium shank receivers, which is a huge bummer because nobody likes medium shank mouthpieces. I'm sorry, Brian Bowman. You're wrong. Medium shank sucks. And in any case, I had a large shank receiver put on. And this is no normal large shank receiver. Take a gander at what it says. And yes, it says something. Why would a receiver say something? Because this is actually the slide receiver from a pre-war King or Con trombone. Yeah, so like it would be right here, and I'd put the slide on. Friction fit, of course, there's no lock rings. And I'd hold the trombone and play like this. This is the slide receiver from a bell section that my tech torched off. He machined it out a little bit to fit the lead pipe, to fit the mouthpiece perfectly. And it's exactly the right length to be a mouthpiece receiver. And it's awesome. It fits mouthpieces perfectly. It looks super cool. It has this little engraving which says Union Label. And it has some stuff in the middle, just a bunch of letters. And then, of course, S, small maybe, small bore. And then HP, which stands for high pitch. So this is from a high-pitched trombone of the time. Super cool. And it fits mouthpieces. It matches perfectly. And I can now use this euphonium with real mouthpieces instead of a stupid medium shank adapter or buying a new $200 mouthpiece. Now it works. I'm so happy about it. I have not played it a whole lot, but it is actually pretty good. It plays really easy. It plays and sounds like a Besson should. Of course, it's got that very high E flat above the staff, but it is pretty good. I mean, I'm just kind of surprised. I thought it was going to be okay, but the valves are great. The only problem I have is that the buttons are really small on the top compared to what I'm used to on my Yamaha, and my fingers slip off of them sometimes. All the slides move. I mean, it's got a first valve spit valve, which is really handy. My Yamaha doesn't have that. And it's, you know, beat up, but it is a completely playable condition. No sprung braces or anything. And these things are indestructibly heavy. I mean, it's actually a little bit wider than the Yamaha, I think, but the construction is just beefy on these things. I'm going to sell this. I do not need 2 euphoniums. I don't need like a backup euphonium. I might use it on a gig next week because it is actually quite good. But after that, I will be selling it. If you're looking for a compensating euphonium that is way better than anything Chinese and will last for another like 100 years, hit me up because this is going to be available and has a large shank receiver and will be cheaper than anything new and Chinese that's not like really, really bad. I'm thinking like $1,600-1,700, something like that. Anyway, that's it. 2 projects complete. I have more on the way. The 62H with Canstool Bell was finished and is actually not quite finished. It still needs some little tweaks, and it will be finished very soon. I did play it a little bit, and it's good, but it needs some tweaks. And I have some other stuff getting worked on. Oh, let's show the bell from that 62H has come back, and of course is unmounted now. It actually looks not awful. It has a flare now, but actually has a hole in it. Did I not see that correctly? Oh, maybe it doesn't have a hole in it. No, it doesn't. This bell is trashed, though. I mean, this is like unimpeachable screwed up. But I'm thinking about either selling this with the horn when it's finished for someone to do with as they please, or having it done myself, getting it cut and getting a carbon fiber screw flare for it. So I'd have 62H bell with a carbon fiber flare. I don't know. Is that useful or good? Probably not. The bell up until this point is in basically perfect shape. It's really just the end. So I don't know. Anyways, that's it. Some project is finished. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.